Hey, friends. So, this morning, I had an interesting impulse to do a post about pausing my doing of the posts. And I'm still kind of playing with it. I'm still kind of trying to sense what this is about, or not what it's about. I think I know what it's about, and I'm going to speak to that. But where it's coming from and what really, whether it's right. I guess I'm playing with whether it's right. It's at this point I've been doing a daily video post for 1,000 and some days. I stopped counting after 1,000. I stopped posting them on Facebook and I stopped numbering them. It's just a daily routine now. And the impulse to stop, and it would not be a full stop. I would certainly come back and do these posts probably pretty regularly. I don't know how I would not. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing this regularly. But the routine of the day-to-day of literally every single day doing one, that's the thing that what showed up was a sense of possibility for where to direct my energy. It gives me, I had a flash, or kind of a series of flashes of what it would mean to take certain creative impulses seriously, more seriously. And how I might allocate my time in my day, how I might structure my days, how I might orient myself towards my work. Because on some level, this post, I count it as part of my work. Now, that's kind of a hard to define thing, right? It's hard to, for myself and for I think some other people who are in this kind of freelance, creative, teacher, coach, in some ways, specific artistic task person, but like a freelance artist, basically. It can be hard for us to define this is my work, we define it by context. If I'm talking to film people, then I talk about my work in a certain way. If I'm talking to theater people, I talk about my work in a certain way. If I'm talking to my piano students, if I'm talking to other musicians, if I'm talking to other educators, there's a way in which we're always molding and we're always saying, well, this is what I do in this area, but actually there's all this other stuff too, and so actually throwing an umbrella around it all can be not just tough, but also unnecessary. But I do know that there's a sense of there's a desire in me to open and or reopen certain doors in my own creative life And it's not that this post is in the way of that, but this post is one place that I now channel a kind of tip of the spear type energy every day. And I've wondered before, even speaking to all of you, I've wondered before, is this really the way that energy is optimally being spent? Is this the right way? And what I sort of imagined was maybe taking a pause and allocating the time that would go into this post to something else, and then coming back to doing a post like this and kind of reporting on that, seeing what happened, what changed. Did it make a desirable change? Did it create movement? Is reorienting that energy actually having the effect that I want it to, which is to sort of open these doors? Or did I just drop a practice that was actually really kind of centering me in a lot of ways? And that's a question I can't answer until I try it. And there is part of me that, at this point, after 1,000 plus, it's kind of scary to ponder stopping. It's kind of scary because I've never missed a day in over 1,000 days. Never missed a day. It's like having a batting streak and deciding not to hit the ball one game. Why would you do that? But I guess that's where the analogy actually becomes relevant. Is it a hit? Is showing up every time and doing a post a hit? Or is it just a way to tell myself I'm getting a hit? Because it requires a certain amount of discipline, a certain amount of presence, a certain amount of wherewithal. But actually, but it's actually not. There'd be other ways that I might feel like are more of like a hit if I were using that energy in that way. And then I think about, those of you who have followed this post and tuned into it for so long, and I know some of you are really regular and you watch it often, and I think about, well, that feels like in some ways a responsibility too, because there's a kind of continuity here. There's like a membrane that we've built, and the idea of stopping that, the idea of cutting that, I think where I have to come to in my own understanding before I'll be ready to do that, before I'll be ready to push pause, is I have to come to the understanding, and I have to really viscerally feel I'm not doing this for me so that I can go do other shit with my day. Because, how much time does it actually take? Like, that's not what this is about. It's how, in serving both myself and anyone who does tune in and gain value from this, in serving all of us, what is the right step? What's the best step? What's the next right thing? Because just because I push pause for a day or a week or a month, however long, doesn't mean that we're not still connected. Doesn't mean that I'm not still going to show up. And in some ways, the whole point would be that I would show up even better. I'd show up with more. I'd show up more full, more abundant, more alive. And so I don't know that I'm there yet. I don't know that I have that locked down as like a, yes, that is definitely it. But I do know that I'm kind of there's a curiosity. I have a kind of sense of like, but maybe there's another way. Maybe there's a higher way to serve, a bigger, better way to serve. And it's not that this is preventing me from doing that. It's just that it's giving me enough that I don't even know kind of where else to look, where else I should be looking. And so that's what came through this morning was a sense of like, what about this? What about this? And I had like a little like mini vision of like, oh, yeah, if I were opening these doors, then when I showed up, I'd have more. I'd actually have more. So that's where I'm at today, folks. If anybody has a sense of, or if any of you have feedback for me, I'd love to hear it. Or a reflection on what I'm sharing right now. But I just have to keep being honest. I have to keep showing up and being honest with, this is what I've got. This is the gift. Everything that is delivered to us is a gift. How do I receive the gift? How do I receive this moment, this impulse as a gift, and keep creating value out of that? Providing something, showing up in some contributing way. So yeah. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'll see you soon.